good afternoon. That's good afternoon in sign language. You must be wondering why Esther is over there. That's because we have some hearing impaired young people in our midst. And sitting over there playing the keyboard is Edet Messiah. Edet became visually impaired or legally blind when he was 7. And this year, he will be going into Nnamdi Azikiwe University to study public administration, defying all the odds of his society. Edet was with us on last Friday, when we celebrated the World Sight Day. And Edet said in his lifetime, he has been called stupid, mumu, useless, not fit to live, because a society that neglected him decided to treat him harshly. Today, I'm here to speak on behalf of Edet and my wonderful young friends who have various kinds of disability. Because in 2010, I came this close to having a disability, to carrying a colostomy, what you call a urine bag, for the rest of my life. I have the singular privilege of being the only person in the world to be called Bitebo Gogo. Someone has said, sometimes it is not the dreams that we have that come true, but the dreams that we never knew we had. Sometimes we don't choose the path that we walk on, but the path chooses us. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. My father wanted me to be a medical doctor. When I told him I would spend 15 years in school, he quickly changed his mind. We came to a negotiation, and I decided to follow his path to become a lawyer, only on one condition, that I become a law lecturer. That never happened. I became a lawyer, but thanks to Rivers State University of Science and Technology, incessant strikes increased one-year master's degree program to 7 years. I started in 1999, got my master's in 2006, and forgot about becoming a law lecturer. Now, back to my story. My dream as a young person, before I became an adult, was to get married, have 2 children, get married to someone in the oil and gas sector, live a fantastic life, be a teacher, and never have to worry about anything until my children have left the nest. Then I could set up a foundation. Because at 15, I had an experience in the all-girls secondary school that I went to, where one of the students said to me, if you never sleep with a boy, you get a disease. And I said to her, that's really strange. I've never heard that before. And so I decided to have a debate with her. On the day of the debate, she chickened out. And I still decided to go ahead and talk to my classmates. I told them what it means to have sex and the consequences of having sex. And I realized after that class that I was actually born to be a teacher, and that a lot of young people do not have the right information in society, and that's why they end up giving in to negative peer pressure. Well, everything that I had dreamt was going like clockwork. I got married at 26 to a wonderful man, God-fearing, and we started planning to have children. I thought by 30 years, I'll be done. By the time I was 30, my nest was still empty. Not because the children had left the nest, but because they never came in. And the doctors gave us a grim diagnosis. They said we were fertility challenged. And so that started a journey for us, a fertility journey, where I had 2 fibroid surgeries, 1 hysteroscopy, and at that point, I also had an IVF that failed. The doctor said to me, my chances of getting pregnant was 15%. My husband said to me, there's really no point. We're Christians, we'll believe God for a child. And I thought that was the end of it. 2010, I started bleeding excessively. I would bleed and soak a chair. And I decided to go for a laparoscopy. It's supposed to be a 45 minutes procedure where they use an optic fiber through your navel and check what's going on inside of you. Unfortunately, they did more than check. They punctured my intestine. And I was bleeding to death. They had to do an emergency surgery. That surgery took 3.5 hours. What happened afterwards is left to your imagination. My stomach became a patchwork of a doctor's job gone bad. I had so much pain, I felt like soldier hands were taking a terrific march across my stomach. The long and short of it is that 3 days after surgery, I came precariously close to losing my life. And I thought to myself, could it get any worse? But it did get worse. 2 weeks after surgery, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I was in so much pain. I went to another hospital and I was told that my stomach had been infected. And they said to me, are you a Christian? I said, I am a Christian, but right now I'm not in the mood to talk to God. I lost his phone number. Sounds funny, but it wasn't funny back then. But anyway, the doctor said to me, you have to pray really hard because we don't know where the infection has spread to. If it has spread to your colon, you'll be carrying a colostomy for the rest of your life. I suddenly remembered God's phone number. And I called him up. I said, God, you have to help me here. And they did a surgery, 5.5 hours of surgery. But an interesting thing happened. I was billed for surgery on Tuesday. On Monday, my veins collapsed. I was rushed into the theater to be given a deep cord where they could put the intravenous injections. On the morning of the surgery, my stomach burst open. I was smelling like a septic tank. I was rushed into surgery. I was in surgery for 5.5 hours. Came out of surgery, and then my body just decided to have a mind of its own. Nothing works. All the antibiotics didn't work. And for 3 weeks, kept having diarrhea, kept throwing up. Everything was not working. And someone came to me and he said, do you remember God's phone number? You better call him because you're looking at going this time around and it's for real. And for those 3 weeks, I thought about the dreams that I had. I asked myself so many questions. If I were to die now, what would I like to be written about me? What would I want to be written in my obituary? If I were to die now, would the girl that I was as a child be proud of the adult that I became? If I was to die now, how many people would miss me? How many people would remember me? Would the world ever know that I existed? So many had questions. And then and there I said to myself, if I ever make it out of this, I didn't promise God anything because there was really nothing to promise anyways. But I said to myself, if I get out of here alive, I'm going to set up a foundation. I'm going to stop thinking about what other people would say. I'm going to start thinking about living. And so, 3 weeks after, I was given a very strong antibiotic. And one of the side effects was that I could have had temporary amnesia. But thank God, he remembered my name. Just like Israel says, I'm a friend of God. He remembered my name and everything went well. This whole incident started on the 10th of January 2010. I got out of the hospital on the 6th of March 2010. When I got out of the hospital, I got in touch with my friend who I asked to incorporate KIR Foundation for me. But I couldn't start anything until the following year, when my life actually began at 40. And it took me a whole year to recover. And at the age of 40, KIR Foundation began. And I've done more in 3 years with my team than I've done in the last 40 years of my life. We started at the Red Cross Orphanage in Lagos, Makoko. I believe you saw the slum when the kind doctor showed us where not to live. Anyway, these kids live in Makoko. That's an orphanage in Makoko. When we got there, we realized that a lot of people are more interested in giving them their old clothes they don't want and visiting them once or twice a year to give them food. But they don't feed the minds of the children. So we started Play and Learn. And Play and Learn has been going on at the Red Cross Orphanage for the past 3 years. Every fortnight, our team is there to teach the children through play. And then, the same year, we started working with street children in established homes. We found out that most of the time when the children spend a lot of years on the streets, they end up hating to read. Most of them are not literate. So we started a book club in one of the homes in Yaba, Street Child Welfare Initiative. And that's Shem right there, reading 17 Secrets of High-Flying Students by Fela Durotoye. Shem had been on the streets since he was about 7. And we realized that until we change the way our society thinks, we cannot develop as a nation. And one book club wasn't enough. We decided to go to another book club, set up another book club in another center for orphans and vulnerable children, and that's the Jackins NGO. Somehow we realized that not any book would be enough for these children. We needed to give them values. Content was very important for us. That's why we gravitated towards the 17 Secrets of High-Flying Students by Fela Durotoye. And then subsequently, we decided to collaborate with other organizations. And we had a charity fair because we realized that we needed to make more impact. And so we decided to collaborate with about 7 other organizations. And we had a charity fair in Lagos to raise money to be able to buy more books. And we were able to raise about 900,000. We bought about 340 copies of Fela's books and also 450 copies of Rage for Change. That was the charity fair. Those are the children from the orphanage. They did that Molwe, and that Molwe raised for us 150,000 naira, which we used to pay for the books. That's Fela Durotoye. Fela has been very supportive of our work. He has single-handedly donated 800 copies of 17 Secrets of High-Flying Students, which we have been able to donate to our target beneficiaries. On his 40th birthday, Fela decided to give back. This is actually where people live. This is called Dustbin Estate. And people actually live there. They build their houses on dustbin, so you can imagine what kind of life that they live. The young lady in the middle, Tolu Sogonshoya, is the executive director of Lord's Charity Foundation, and they have a center there. that teaches young people values. And like he rightly said, you have influence. Tolu started the center when she was doing her youth service. And she's been working with those children and that community for the past 4 or 5 years. And so it is important to realize that nobody here has an excuse. You can't say, oh, I don't have anything. You do have something. And the reason why I believe TEDx has been organized, spreading ideas, is so that you would have your own idea to change your community. I think I went back. Okay. Interestingly, during the charity fair, I met an Italian lady, and she said to me, Bitebo, you're doing a great work, working with orphans and vulnerable children, working with young people, you know, but there's a group of people that you forgot to work with. And I said, whoa. She said, prisoners. I said, you must be kidding me. And she said, I'm not kidding you. Prisoners do read. They have adult literacy program. Some of them are on online university, open university. And I said to myself, my goodness, Nigeria is moving up. And I decided to pay them a visit. I went to the KIR medium, maximum, Ikoyi, and female prison. And then in 2013, January, I went to Kuje prison, and we donated Rage for Change. Now you will think that that is where I would stop moving up or stop working with different people. Somebody else came and said, well, you forgot another group of people. I said, oh, no, not one more. They said, yes, you did. I said, which people? She said, people living with disabilities. I said, oh, my word, where do I find them? And she said to me, there's one down your road. And I went to the Anglo-Saxon Center for the Blind, and we donated some money, and we also decided to try and get them some volunteers. The young people you see are actually street children in the book club where we support and run the activities of the book club. They actually go there to volunteer. So you can imagine how things have changed. Those that were helping are now helping other people. And that's where the story gets really interesting. Dan Lamy, the executive director of Anglo-Saxon Center for the Blind, said to me, Bitebo, I hear you're going back to Port Harcourt. I said, yes, I am. What can I do for you? He said, well, there's some people who are very close to my heart. I think you should pay them a visit. I said, where are they? And he said to me, that's a special needs school in Port Harcourt. And so I went to the school. That's what the school looks like. I got to the school. It was in a deplorable condition. My heart broke. And I say this without trying to sound corny, but when I actually got there, the place was in such a mess that I actually thought they kept animals there. And the first thing we did was to try to see if we could engage with policymakers, governments, corporate organizations. And you know what? Empty promises never delivered. And so we decided that we're going to do something by ourselves. Whatever little we could do, we had to do it. And so we started by okay, better behave yourself. Okay, more pictures. This is the living quarters. That's the dormitory. Okay. So, you can imagine going to school in such a condition. Would you be inspired to read? I don't think so. And so we decided that we were going to start by giving them educational supplies, But we realized that the children only learned 4 subjects. They didn't have a mathematics teacher, no fine arts teacher. And we said, what can we do to inspire these children? We felt that we should start a book donation and a prize giving day. I want to use this opportunity to thank Perez Tigidam. Perez has been there for us right from the very beginning. And so this young man you see right there, he's hearing impaired, he uses crutches, but he's so intelligent. His mother is so proud of him. He was one of the best students. Chinaye was one of the best in the ICT training we did last year. We had ICT training. We had about 13 different skills that we taught them. Maria over there, our in-house photographer, she's hearing impaired. She comes to work for us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we realized that until we give these children an opportunity, no one will give them that opportunity. Patitomi said, we're as strong as our weakest link. We can't get greater than our weakest link in this country. And so I want to say to all of you here, don't feel sorry for these children. Be their voice, be their hands, be their legs. And if you want to do anything important, invest in their lives. More pictures. Trying to get them to realize that you matter. What you learn, what you do matters to our society. And that's where we are at this point. Sometime in 2013, when we started the vocational training program at the special needs school, I went around asking for funds. And a former classmate of mine decided to step in and help us. He gave us a grant, paid for the house, paid for the rent for this property, paid for the furniture, paid for staff salary for 6 months, paid for all the accessories that we needed. And so, right there you have children from the neighborhood coming in to read. I believe that we can change our neighborhood one at a time if we do put in some effort into it. All of us have challenges in life. That is not an excuse to be any different. It is not the challenges that we have that matter. It's the way we respond to it. If you can use them, positive good can come out of it. In 3 years, we have achieved a lot, not so much, but with the help of so many people, we've done a lot. And what is our mission? Our mission is to transform the lives of orphans and vulnerable children, youth, persons with disabilities, prisoners, women living in our communities and our local communities. Our vision is to raise innovative leaders committed to lifelong learning and community service, just like the boys in the street home who are now volunteering at Anglo-Saxon Center for the Blind. This was during the vocational training at the special needs school. Okay, I just wanted to show you this. In 3 years, we've been able to donate 9,581 books. We have worked with 197 youths. We have taught 729 children. We have received 4,539 books. We have donated computers, braille machines, set up 2 book clubs, facilitated at River State University of Science and Technology, the university that kept me behind for 7 years, University of Port Harcourt. We've been to 4 orphanages, 4 street homes, 5 remand homes, and juvenile correction centers. We have given to 3 book clubs, 5 prisons, empowered 9 women. Women are not so strong on our list for now, but we're working on it, trust me. We have collaborated with 11 non-profit organizations because we know that even like Bill Gates, we can't do it on our own. We need collaboration. And in 2011, we had the first ever charity fair in Lagos. I talked about the prize-giving stroke book donation day in the special needs school. I didn't come here to mouth off our achievements. I came to ask for your support. First, not to give to us your resources, but one, to build a new Nigeria. I was privileged to be at the platform when Nigeria turned 50. And one of the speakers there, he said, welcome to October 2nd. And he was talking about the October 2nd generation. I want to ask you a question today. Are you the October 2nd generation? A generation that is willing to stop complaining, to stop criticizing the government, but a generation that is willing to do its part to make a difference, to create change in your environment. I didn't choose the path that I'm walking. The path chose me, but I can assure you, I've never been as happy as I am right now. And the epiphany that actually fuels, my passion is the fact that the young girl that I was, I'm sure, will be proud of the woman that I have become. And my dream is not to leave my name in the sands of time because I know it will be washed away. I want to leave my name in the hearts of people, to be fondly remembered because I touched their lives. I stopped and I talked to them. I smiled at them. And like Edith, who is playing for you today, who would never have been here if I didn't stop to say to him, Edith, I know that you can do more than you're doing. And so all of us can do that, no excuses. Don't wait for your life to start at 40 like mine did. Don't wait until you have an epiphany because you might never have the chance that I had. Thank you very much and God bless you.